Welcome to Gotta Ping. I'm Mei Ping, the founder of Gotta Ping. As a next-gen leadership coach, I help high-performing young executives and entrepreneurs like you to navigate complex people and problems with top-notch communication and leadership skills to create sustained success. In today's podcast, I want to talk about my signature PING method, PHING, that I use for coaching young executives and entrepreneurs. It is definitely the game-changing approach you need to become a high-performing young leader. Over the 5 days, I will be going into each part of the PING, PHING, personality, hacker, ideas, navigate, and go-getter, so that you can get a bit more insights as to this coaching model that I use for clients that work with me. So the PHING method. Today we're only going to talk about N, which is navigate, and why it's important to learn how to effectively navigate people and problems in a dynamic workplace. So this is the topic that I'm extremely passionate about, because a lot of people ask me, how did you manage to rise up to senior management positions in global multinational companies so quickly? And I always tell them that it really boils down to being able to sense the pulse of what is going on around me and effectively navigating people as well as problems. So these are the two key abilities: understanding and dealing with people, as well as actually processing problems and being able to make decisions and move forward. So these individual aspects I have also covered in my Top 10 Soft Skills podcast series. So if you haven't managed to check that out, feel free to do so after listening to this episode. So this is the bit in my coaching program that I think is ultimately the most valuable, because not many people really have the experience of navigating very complex and dynamic environments. So in the past, I've been extremely fortunate that in my corporate career, and at the very young age that I was, barely even 30 years old, I was already managing multi-million-dollar projects across different countries and different markets. At one point, the portfolio I was directly managing was $800 million across 43 countries. So that is that layer of complexity that I was dealing with every single day. On top of that, there was the global, regional, and local markets that I was also working with as well, running regulatory initiatives and regulatory projects on behalf of an international bank. Definitely a lot of pressure, a lot of strategizing, a lot of dynamics that was going on all around me. So this is what I work with my clients right now. A lot of them are also, highly ambitious, they're high performing, they have taken on big roles that requires them to lead projects, to run teams, and to really make decisions that can propel them upwards the career ladder or really grow their business to a multi-million-dollar empire for some of them. So today, we will also be going through a very, very simple exercise. Essentially, it's just 2 questions, but the key point is this: designing strategic actions that will create win-win relationships as well as positive outcomes. Because what is a good career, and what is trust, and what is business growth if you don't learn how to create win-win relationships, right? Being able to both marry people and problems into something that really works for you and doesn't pull you back in any way at all. So as usual, if you don't have a notepad, a piece of paper, or a pen with you, now is the time to go and get it, so that you can take some notes, put in some bit of reflections that you can take away and take action after this podcast episode. So question number 1, who are the key people to engage with? And more importantly, how can you support them? Right? Who are they? Who are all these people that you work with? And these are people who will be important to your corporate success. As well as what can you do to support them, right? How helpful can you be? And how can they really benefit from having you in their team or as a partner, as a collaborator? So that's really like the first big question. So just kind of put it down. You can use bullet points, but definitely list them down. The second question is, what are the soft skills that you can use to create clarity and solve problems? You guys know that I'm very passionate about how I believe that soft skills are the real hard skills. So it is also, I think, a combination of skills. Like, you can't just learn communication and expect massive results when you don't learn how to create win-win relationships, you don't know how to manage expectations, you don't have EQ, you don't have management leadership, right? So all these are definitely work in a synergy. So if you haven't managed to check out my top 10 soft skills series, feel free to do so now. And if you want a long list of the soft skills that I highly advocate, you can check out my website. Yeah, so the list of soft skills, right? Which one can you use in your current situation that can help create clarity and, more importantly, can help you resolve the problem, right? Is it clear thinking, deep thinking, strategic thinking? What about the art of decision making? What about managing expectations, right? Have you been clear on your deliverables? Have you been clear on what you expect your team to do? Really find out, right? What is the real cause of the problems that you are facing right now? After working with, so many clients and, my personal experience of running massive teams, in the past in my teams, I was managing people between the ages of 25 to 45. I work with teams from 43 countries, so definitely it's extremely complicated. But ultimately, the skills are the same, right? It's just the scale is different, but the set of skill set is the same. So you can level up for sure, but the first thing is to really identify what can help you navigate this complex environment. And of course, before that, you need to make sure that your mindset is very strong. So if you missed my earlier episode on how you can hack and rewire your mindset, do check it out also. Because if you don't truly believe that you belong as a leader or a manager, then there is no point. There is no point learning all the little skills when you don't truly believe that you have what it takes and you want to have what it takes to really rise up and be that leader that you know you can be. So these two questions, although it sounds really simple, but there are many layers to that. That's why when I work with my clients, in fact, what we do in my long-term program, the 3 to 6 months one, a lot of it is really learning how to navigate level by level, the kind of people. If you're in a business, then definitely it's your clients, your suppliers, your collaborators. If you're at the workplace, it's your boss, your colleagues, your people from different departments, and so forth. Really understanding that dynamic can make things a lot easier and seamless versus if you don't get it. Because if you don't get it, it's going to be really painful. And the worst thing is that you feel the pain, but you feel like you are trapped also because you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just going to feel like you're just wandering around, but you just can't seem to see the solution, right? So navigating sounds really easy, but there's a lot of clarity, there's a lot of skill that goes behind that, and that's why I really enjoy the kind of coaching that I do with my clients, because I know a lot of coaches don't have this sort of skills, so it's really fun. And for me, it's just transitioning from what I was really good at doing in corporate and now just really teaching my clients to do the same, and makes me really happy once they learn these little skills and then I see them leveling up. What I call this little magic superpower. I think it's freaking awesome. Yes, so in conclusion, these 2 questions, really think deeply and write it down and put it into practice. That's so important. Put it into practice. And if you want the list of questions that I've just shared in the podcast today, hop over onto my website at www.gotaping.com, where you can download the Ping Method free guide. Just put in your email address and I will send it directly to your inbox so that you can keep it around as a cheat sheet and really refer to it as and when you want to. So I will see you in the last and final episode of this Ping series tomorrow. See you guys. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If we have not yet connected, I look forward to connecting with you. You can find me on my website www.gotaping.com, on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. The links to my profiles are in this episode's description box. I can't wait for you to join me in the next episode of my Gotta Ping podcast. Till next time, bye!